I'm going to wait a few more minutes for people to start rolling in. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start now. So, this is the last session of the Largest Linguistics Club for 2022. Um, Again, we always start with this, a quick review of the Linguistics Olympiad, NACLO, and IOL. The first round of NACLO, the open round, is on the 26th, I believe, January 26th. Um, if you get past the first few rounds of NACLO, you go to IOL. You can prepare for this by taking a foreign language class, uh, textbooks. There's a 2023 handbook practice problems and a video from Zara that I'll post in the chat once you guys get started on the next question. And you can also prepare by being in this class. So this is week 12, the last week. Hopefully I'll be able to get through all three problems, but normally I only get through about two. I'm gonna post the link to the first problem in chat. That is the wrong one. The first problem is in chat. I want everyone to open it and start reading while I post the links on the slides in chat. Okay, so everyone should have the PDF open. Now I'm going to start reading the problem. Old Norse was the language of the Vikings, the language spoken in Scandinavia and the Scandinavian settlements found throughout the northern hemisphere from the 700s to the 1300s. Much as Latin was the forerunner of the Romance languages, among them Italian, Spanish, and French. Old Norse was the ancestor of the North Germanic languages, Icelandic, Faroese, Norwegian, Danish, and Swedish. Old Norse was written first in runic alphabets, then later in the Roman alphabet. The first runic alphabet found on inscriptions dating from throughout the first millennium CE is known as Elderfudar and was used for both Proto-Norse and early Old Norse. So below are nine anglicized names of Old Norse gods and the nine Elderfudar names to which they correspond. And there's also two runic names for other gods, but they are not listed in the uh, in the English spelling. So I'm gonna give everyone a few minutes to think about this, think about how you would solve it. Uh, and I'll start explaining the problem in about 5 minutes or so. If you have found solutions, anything like that, feel free to put it in chat. Okay, by now everyone should have attempted the problem. maybe even solved it. So D1, we're supposed to match the runes to the correct names. So we can kind of think of this like a substitution code. Oh, Skylar, if you want, you can post them in chat right now, or you can say them out loud. So 1 is Bowder. All right. So we can, like, if we look at this, number 1, which Skylar says is Bowder, uh, it pretty much looks like Bowder, right? The first character looks like a B. The last character looks like an R. It pretty much looks like Bowder. So let's take that for granted, and let's look at how the quote unquote substitution will work. So you say C is 2. All right, I'll write that in right now. So to look at Bowder, this is clearly a B. This is clearly an R. Now we can see that the letter count does not exactly match up, but we can most likely assume that 2 letters will go into 1 rune. So from this, we can almost take for guaranteed that the first rune is a B, the last rune is an R. Now to look to what Yo-Yo said, C is 2, day. So do you want to explain how you got day?
Okay, so
Because both 2 and 11 have 3 runes.
because this looks like a D, and then it won't start with a list because this is combined with D O, I think. No, D A. And actually, never mind. But I thought that was combined with 2 different letters, one that started with D and another letter, but it wouldn't end with an AY. So, and it was really short. That's why I thought it was D, this symbol R.
Okay, so it looks like D. All right. So we definitely do see that a lot of lookalikes, such as the B and R in Bowder, but not everyone we can take for granted. Now, of course, some symbols have different letter substitutions in different cases, but if we don't take any assumptions, we can't start a problem, right? So let's go back to this B and R. I'm actually going to erase this 2 from C. It was a good guess, but it's unfortunately not correct. Now we can't just go. Of course, when I said some have some letters have different substitutions in different cases. I can't just go and replace every single R rune with an R. But why don't we look back to these 2, Freya and Freyr? Now, can anyone tell me which 2 runes have the have like the same starter?
6 and 9, they start with this symbol I.
Yeah. We can probably take for granted that this is F, this is R, this is F, this is R as well.
And then the rest would just be
Now,
like EY.
Yeah. Since 9 has an R at the end as well, we can assume that 9 is F, so that 9 must be Freyr. And then E must be 6 or Freya. Right?
Mhm.
Okay, let me erase this now. Okay. Now, does anyone want to see where we can go from this? Possibly give an idea.
Find letters, find words that start with the same letter.
I mean, like
Yeah.
being kind of correlates with 8 because they both have a lot of letters.
Yeah, it could B could correlate with 8 because of the amount of letters. Now, if we see B and C, Dallinger and Day, and then we also see the same symbol that starts with the D, so we can probably assume this is a DA in this case, or sorry, a DU. My bad. Of course, I erased it all. Okay. So we can probably assume this, as I said, it can have different meanings in different situations. So this probably stands for DU here. This is most likely a D. This is most likely a D as well.
Computer shut down.
So we can also see that 8 is the longest. The longest word here is Dallinger. So we can most likely assume almost 100% correctly that 8 is B. Now that lets us see that 4 is day, which is C. So we can put 4 there.
Maybe we can look at night and sun. They might be different.
They might have some correlations. Yeah, they might.
Because they have something to do with what happens on Earth.
Right. They're kind of almost opposites of each other in a sense, because night you would see the moon, but daytime you would see the sun. Maybe they would have some correlation. So right now, I'm just going to cross out the ones that we already have.
Why are there this symbol and this symbol?
It might also have something to do with Earth as well.
Earth,
What
yeah,
is this
it could have
symbol?
something to do with Earth. Wait, which symbol? I'm sorry.
Okay,
Oh yeah,
so
that symbol. Yeah. Thank you for pointing this out. Yes. We can see that 6 is Freyr, or sorry, Freya, and we can probably say that this EY equals the symbol that Yo-Yo circled. EY is probably something like that. Now we see the E, as I said before, it sometimes the translations are situational. We can probably assume that this is an E right
This
here.
is Earth?
Yes, this is Earth. So we can take from this that Earth is 7. So I don't know why I wrote 6 there. What happened? Probably wrote it in the wrong spot. Wait, no. I'm just being dumb. Okay, wait a second. Give me a moment. Okay, never mind. I realized what I did. That mistake. Okay, so 7. So we have 1, 8, 4, 7, 6, 9. We have 6 of them. Now we're just missing Ithun, Night, and Sun, and of course the 2 extra that we have no idea. So the question is, how do we approach this now? Now we can take our previous translations. We can probably assume that this is a TH, as a TH sound is very common. Now, I could be wrong on this, but we can probably assume it's TH. This is an A and this is an R. This is probably AL. That looks really bad, but let me just, you guys know this is powder. So if we look at this, it looks like A can be possibly situational, based on whether it's next to a vowel or a consonant. As we can see, Baldur and Earth have completely different symbols for the A. So A equals this or this. Now, clearly, when we look at 10, A cannot be equal to this. That doesn't work. Because Iconite and Sun, neither of them start with A. So let's continue replacing all of these. So this is most likely a TH, as I pointed out from Earth. So this is 3 is probably Ithon. So G is 3. And we can see the I is probably just I by itself. TH, U, N. Somehow 3 characters will combine into 2, but you know that's the only way we can find that Ithon is 3. Now we're just missing night and sun. Now we have 4 to work from, which is 10, 11, 2, and 5. Now we do have to remember that 2 of them are not don't have the English names above. We can see that 2 starts with TH. Now clearly there's no other one that starts with TH here. There's nothing that starts with TH in our English names. So this 2 we'll assume is one that's not on the list. All right, so I'm just going to cross that out for now. So now we just need to find the last one that is not on the list. And we also have to find night and sun. Now, since we already took out this, since TH, sun is the only 3-letter one here. So we can probably tell that sun is going to be 11. And that this sign, this kind of like blocky 3, it looks like an S. So sun is 11. Yeah, I'm just going to erase a lot of stuff here because it's getting a little crowded. Okay, so we've used 11. We've used I don't know where either. There should be 11. We've used 3. We've used 9. We've used 6. We've used 7. We've used 4. We've used 8. We've used 1. And we have 3. We need to figure out which one is night. Does anyone have a guess?
5.
5? Why do you think that?
One moment. Which
The
one?
question is it either 5 or 10? So is it 5 or is it 10?
Okay.
And you said
I
5.
think it's 5 because we know that 7 starts with an E, and then that fish shape thing would be A, but night doesn't start with an A.
Right. But remember when I said different symbols can have different meanings when put into different contexts. So do you have some like other proof?
I would say that it would be 5 because it has 2 arrows with 5 has 2 arrows, which we have not seen in any other of the 10, any of the other 10.
Yeah. All right. That is great. Night ends with a GHT, which we don't see a GH or T in any other word. So yes, night is 5, but we can also see that there's an I here. And since we remember that this combo can't equal to night, and the I is way too close to the end, we can tell that 5 is night. So now we are left with two more runes that we are
to
meant
write
to
it in
translate.
the Roman alphabet though, so like we need to convert it.
Right, we need to write it in the Roman alphabet. So let's look back at 2. THR. Can anyone think of a god that starts with TH and ends with R?
Thor.
Thor, yeah. So
what's
this
the-
kind of bases off your knowledge of Avengers. So
Thor is actually
Thor.
a Norse god who has a hammer and is
Yeah, but he's
Thor.
more
Yeah, but
commonly
he was
known
like
from Avengers.
known in Avengers.
Yeah, you would most likely know him from Avengers, but yeah, it is great to know history as well for this.
It sounds a Viking.
So now that we know that 2 is Thor, we can probably assume that this fish, because like since we don't have translations, they're going to have to do runes that clearly translate from letter to letter, right? So this is going to be an O, O. And then remember this symbol from Bowder, D. This is an I. Now this last letter. Can anyone tell me where we can find this? I'll erase the lines if that makes it look easier, or if it's easier to find. Now, of course, if you're familiar with Norse gods, you can probably tell what the last letter is. But
Yorick?
sorry, last letter is what?
What is that? Is that a D?
Yeah,
Odin?
Odin. Yeah. Now, assume we don't know the Norse gods very well. Why don't we look to here? 5 is night.
The first one is the N from night.
Yeah. There we go. So does everyone have this? Any questions? Okay. I'm going to leave these here because you know what? They might become useful in the later problems, right? Because it's based off of their own. So you want to write the runic names of the following gods: Tyre, Ran, and Sif. So let's look at Tyre first. Ends with R. So most likely there's going to be an R. So we're going to put Tyre here. So R is going to be the last letter. Now, of course, I'm starting at the right side because we don't know how much we're going to use on the left side. And T. Where can we find T? Anyone know?
NT? Norse gods?
Like, anyone know where we can find the translation for T?
It's only used. The only times T is used is in Earth, Itham, and Night.
Right. Now let's look at which one. So Earth corresponds to 7. Ithon corresponds
Three.
to 3. Thank you. And night is 5. Now, this one we're kind of like unclear because we have like different symbols for different things. So let's kind of skip this for now and let's look at the Y. Now the Y, where can we find the Y?
You can find it in Freya and Freyr.
Right. Now clearly in Freya and Freyr, there's no I. So then why is there the I symbol?
That must be Y.
That must be a Y, right? Because I and Y have pretty much the same sound. So now we just need to find that first symbol. So seems like we're pretty much stumped on that right now. So let's move on to Ran, or we'll put that in B. Okay, of course, R is going to start like this, right? Don't really have a choice. A, where can we find A?
You can find it in Balzer, Dellinger, Day, Earth, Freya, and yeah. So from A to E, you can there's an A in everything.
Right. I'm just not gonna circle Earth. Too lazy to find it. No, I just found it. I mean, not stay. Why am I being dumb? But yeah, stay is a. I should circle that. Now where do we find the A in each? Freya is here. Let's forget about Dowlinger because it's what I'm looking for right now is not in Dowlinger, which probably based on the context it wouldn't be there. Day, Balder.
Okay, so it's all like F.
It looks like this, right?
Right.
Yeah. So usually you can use just like majority of the cases, which one works best, then you'll put that there. And N,
Finally, we have N.
Yeah. We have N.
Right.
From where? We have it in
We have
Ithon.
N from like.
We have it from Night.
From Night. And we have it from Odin as well.
Yeah, I can't read my own handwriting. Whatever I wrote for Night, 5.
Night was 5.
Yeah. So we see it in we also see it in Dowlinger. So we see it in Dowlinger, Ithon, Night, and Sun. Sun was 11. So what is the N here? So Sun, this is probably the last one. This is the last. Well, since it's 3 letters, 3 symbols will correspond. I, T, H, U. N looks like a combination of these two. U looks like upside down N. 5 was night. N. I don't know exactly how the IGHT works out, but we can see that N clearly goes with this, and N, whether it be the combination of them or because of the context or just one of them, we can probably see that N is most likely this based on majority. Now, I know you can kind of argue that, like, sure, Dowlinger, this symbol is the same as this symbol, but the N is but this symbol is way too close to the front to be the N. So the N is this symbol. And Sif. Oh my god, my screen is changing colors. I don't know if you guys see that on the screen share, but it just went from like green to like just like normal color, then green. Oh, it's whatever. Sif, SIF. Remember, 11 is sun. This looks like a S, right? It's kind of like a cognate. My screen keeps changing colors. We definitely know that this candle-like thing. Yeah, no, it's only two. This kind of like candle-like thing is an F from Freya and Freyr. And then we just want to find the I, which is pretty obvious. It's just straight line down. So I'm just going to move this together. Okay, let's go back to the T. Can anyone find where we can find the T? So I'm going to go back and circle the words with T in them. Give me a moment here. You guys can look on my screen or your screen, see what can the T be?
An arrow? No. Wait.
So now we can probably eliminate Ithon because this is a TH. TH has its own special symbol. So we'll eliminate that. Thor also has TH. We'll eliminate that as well. What are we left with?
Arrow.
Arrow. That's right. That's this question. I spent so long on this, but I like to see the participation. Next question. Let's move to out of order. I'm going to send the link to this in chat. I'm going to just start reading this because it's a lot of stuff to begin. So we are used to hearing sentences one word at a time. Sometimes this can cause confusion. For example, this sentence, Catherine believes Lydia is lying. So if you read the sentence from left to right, you would first read Catherine, then believes, then Lydia. At this point, you would need to think that Catherine believes Lydia, right? Because we just don't notice the is lying until we read it. So once you finish reading that, you need to go back to fix your incorrect first impression. But instead of reading one word at a time, some computers take in the entire sentence at once. So this approach can help avoid the confusion that was illustrated above. Now, usually, we do talk fast enough that we'll usually realize immediately what they're talking about, but you know, it's just to establish context. It's more efficient because the computer does not have to wait while it processes one word before it can move on to the next one. So for the all at once approach to work, the computer needs its input to be in representation that does not depend on the order of its elements. So in this problem, we focus on some representations of this type. To simplify the scenario, we'll only talk about the sentences such as sequences of letters, even though most language technology today is based around larger units such as words. For example, a word-based system would view good morning as two words, good and morning, but how we're going to look at it, we're going to view it as 11 letters. So the first version is in the bag. It's a very simple representation that avoids using a sequence called a bag of words or a bag of letters in this case. The word green can be represented as a bag of letters, E, E, G, and R in brackets. We can also notice that it's the same as GENER or GREEN, but they look different on the printed page. So they're the same to the so they look different on the printed page, but as long as they have the same characters, they're the same to the bag of letters system. So using it can cause some confusion. So recently, Professor Eliza Shirley asked her computer assistant to prepare dinner for an enormous party. The computer asked how many people were attending, and Professor Shirley asked over 50. Unfortunately, the computer received this answer as a bag of letters EFFIORTVY, which the computer misinterpreted. It rearranged these letters to get a smaller number than what Professor Shirley had intended. As a result, there was not enough food at the party for all of the guests. So the question is, how many people did the computer think would be at the party? So it's a number between 1 and 50. We're going to look at this. We're going to look at this to find the answer. Does anyone have any immediate guesses off the bat? I mean, just remember, there's like not really a set way to figure this out. It's just based on how you're looking at it. We could go through the numbers one by one, but that's not very time efficient. Remember, the contest has a time limit. 45. Right, 45 is correct. Okay. Now we can see this by seeing FORTY. We'll interpret that as 40. I'm gonna erase this because that looks terrible. Okay, we can see like 40 there, and we can kind of see a 5 as well. Like, it's not really clear. It just depends on like how you look at it. Like, it's hard to explain, but I don't know if you get what I'm talking about. If you do, that's great. If you don't, I'm not sure how to explain it better. Right, there's no U in the bag, but when you look at that, looks like 40, right? All right, so let's move on to G2. So to avoid this confusion, we need to insert information about the order of the letters. We can do this by annotating each letter with its position in the sequence. So G2 asks, what message does the following representation encode? No punctuation or spaces in your answer unless you want to. So this question, just try what you can. I'll give you about 2 minutes to figure this out. This one is relatively easy. When you're done, send it in chat. Okay, I'm not sure if 2 minutes was enough, but I found this relatively easy when I solved it myself. So let's look at it like this. We have 0, 16, 17, 7, 21, 11, 20, 10, 18, 4, 19, 3, 6, 15, 5, 1, 9, 12, 2, 8, 14, 22, 13. So why don't we can assume that these numbers will determine the order. So I would be first. We want to look for 2, which is V. We want to look for 3, which is E. And then once you go through all this, you'll find I've made my position clear. Does everyone understand? You just take the number on the right, and that's the position in the one base string. Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next question. So G3. So there are other possible ways to represent linear position besides the approach one in G2. So what message does the following representation encode? I'm going to give you another 2 minutes, I would say, to work on this problem. And then when you're done, send it in chat. Okay, so I'm assuming everyone went ahead and tried putting 1 as the first, putting 2 as the second. Now, why don't we go ahead and do that right now, right? N, A, L, P, P, U, K, C, A, B. That, we can clearly see, is not a word, or not even 2 words, not even 3 words. Yep, that's right, Skylar. So then, why don't we look, so then we'll think to ourselves, well, if it's not going to go in ascending order, then what if it goes in descending order? So then we'll look at it from the highest number to the lowest number. B, A, C, K, U, P, P, L, A, N. Backup plan. Yeah. Any questions on that? Okay. So barking up the right tree. So in linguistics, words and phrases are usually analyzed using a tree structure rather than a sequential structure. For example, we might use the following tree for it in the C. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for this. So we can represent this tree by showing using R's and L's to represent rights and lefts. Now, I did not mean to do that. You can see I is left, left. So you see a fork here, you go left. You see a fork here, you go left. That's how you get I. So then we look at N. N, we have a fork, we go left. We have a fork, we go right. Everyone understand that? Okay, so now we want to see what message does the following representation encode. You don't need to include any punctuation or spaces in your answer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and explain this. We don't even need to build a tree. We can just look, since we don't need to include any punctuation or spaces. We'll look for the one with the most lefts first, since we'll be going from left to right. So that's B. Then we'll look for a left, 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 right, which is an R. We'll look for a left, left, right, either left, left, right, left, or left, left, right, right, which in this case we'll find left, left, right, left, A. I'm just gonna not circle these anymore. And then once we finished going through all of that, we'll find branching out. Such a fitting name, right? Look at it. It's branching out from a single point. Anyone have any questions on that? Okay. Moving on. Wickle phones, or in this case, Wickle letters. So I'm just not gonna I actually should read this. An influential paper by Rumelhart and McClellan in 1986 modeled English verbs using the representational units called Wickle phones. Wickle phones are named after psychologist Wayne Wickelgren. The phone part of the name refers to the fact they were representing sounds, also known as phones. Since we are instead using letters, we can encode a message using using Wickle letters. The word blue represented using Wickle letters would be U: L underscore E, B: hashtag underscore L, E: U underscore hashtag L: B underscore U. Does anyone know why we have like a letter and then we'll have either a letter or a hashtag underscore, a letter or a hashtag? Why is the underscore always in the middle? Right, letters before and after it. And you know what the hashtags are? Right, start and end. So we can see the word blue starts with B, goes to L, goes to U, goes to E. B has a hashtag that starts, so hashtag underscore L. This is a B. L, B underscore U, it's an L. U would be a L underscore E. And the E would be U underscore hashtag E. So hashtag at the front means it's the start of the word. Hashtag at the end means it's the last letter. Now, the question is, how do we know what to do, right? Because like without knowing this, and like say we don't know blue, blue is still relatively easy since there's no repeat letters. But however, in here, we can see there's many repeat letters, right? So we're just going to have to use context. And it's kind of like a trial and error context. So we'll start with this P. We can tell the second letter is A. So let's knock this off the list. We want to find every single one that that starts with an A. Now, fortunately, we only have one. Actually, we actually have two. I'm sorry. But this one cannot be it because it starts with an Y. So it must be this one. Y. So then A must be the next letter, right? Because the Y starts. Well, actually, we can't assume that. Sorry, we can't assume that because the sorry, we can't assume that because there could be other other letters out there. Sorry, I'm kind of being vague. So we've used pay. So pay. So we want to find all the ones that start with Y. So we have one here. We have one here. We have oh, I'm circling the wrong thing, aren't I? Yeah, I'm circling the wrong thing. Hey, I'm confusing myself. Give me a moment. No, I'm circling the right thing. Sorry. So these two are the only ones that starts that have Y as a letter. Since Y is here, A is the only one that works. A. Now, of course, this one, it's not as easy as the others. It takes more time. Does anyone want to try a few letters maybe? Yeah, pay attention to your surroundings. You have a typo there. There's no C. Pay attention to your. So, let me write that in. Now once we've gotten the hang of figuring out what the next letter is, we just want to make sure that we're keeping track of the right letters. So it's a good idea to be crossing the letters out. In the end, you'll find pay attention to your surroundings. You can check. I think I have. You guys probably still have the link. You can check that. Uh, I know I did speed through these questions a little, as we don't have a lot of time, but and I know I did give you the answers, but since you still have the PDF, it'd be great if you want to go back and work these out, fully work it out yourself. The practice is nice. Um, this is the last class, so uh before for this year. So I'm going to give the link to this, which I found was a nice problem. The link to this is now in chat. That is the third problem that I was going to go over, but ran out of time. There's also this, which has all of the old problems, which we're pulling these problems from there. They have the solutions and questions, but I wouldn't suggest trying to cheat on a practice test. Like, what's the point in that? So just go through try to answer the questions, check your answers. It's great practice. And that's about it. If you're taking NACWO, good luck. That's on January 26th. And see you next year, I guess.
Bye. Thank you.
Yep.